love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give it up. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give it up. Don't be scared.
Should I even say anything? I literally said we will revisit 333, agreeing with my admin, Mustang Mama, when we were saying that we will end up retesting the 326, hoping that I would be wrong about it, and unfortunately I was very right. With regards to both Palantir, although Palantir kind of did outperform and lasted far longer and better than all the current assets that we are seeing. Really outlasted the most. We are looking currently at what appears to be what all-time highs, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or at least nearby. We're in the vicinity of, right? We're looking at roughly the same sort of area. Sadly, unfortunately, nothing really changed. In fact, we are starting to see the spillover happening. It's just that it got prolonged. But let's go from the standpoint of the indices. That's kind of the main place where we look at things, simply just to try and identify what it really is that the market is doing right now. Let's see. Okay, I have a lot of garbage here that really is in the way. Let's remove some of that stuff, just so we're going to have a little bit of a cleaner chart to work with. Right, so what we really ended up having, and very unfortunate by the way, as I will kind of warn, that we will end up, or potentially, because the original assessment was that we will end up breaking it around 54, 56, 55 at the junction of the channels at around the 4 hours, the 1 hour. We had various channels that were implying that we're gonna break and not continue with the momentum. We were able to proceed and broke out all the way to the ceiling. Sadly, as I've stated, we're gonna have a support resistance level there at around 5886. As you can see, it is already starting to come into play. We do have a bunch of gaps to be closed. It's very unfortunate that we're actually what we're seeing in post market. It seems like the market is reacting very, very rapidly post market and starting to correct a little bit, which is not all that good. We don't want to open up with another gap tomorrow, simply because that will end up wasting even further, even more time. The quicker we are going to proceed with the current channel, we will end up actually sort of moving back into the movement to the downside. Right now, there are a lot of forces within the sort of area that we are actually. And so we ended up retesting some of them. Let's go over the regular sort of shtick, the regular the way we look at the market to identify what the momentum is saying for the upcoming sessions, okay? Let's start from the small time frames. The 1 minute really kind of doesn't matter. Of course, not something we want to see at the end of the session is this. The time being, it seems tame. We're kind of staying in the vicinity, and hopefully we will. 1 minute, again, as we said, kind of really not interesting, and especially within the confines of, overnight price action. 5 minutes as well. That's usually why we like to talk about these things throughout the session. Sadly, today I ended up going live, as you guys know, a little bit late, simply because I had too many sessions. What is happening here in the 30 minutes is already starting to turn around. Just as the session came to an end, we broke through the 50 level. This is why we are seeing the momentum sort of suddenly shift over, kind of going rallying, right? And then suddenly shifting over. We still have the gap from the 11th and the 12th. We still have to close that new gap. I think we still have a couple of dollars there at the bottom. Now let's start looking at the real time frames that kind of matter to us. Why? Because what we're seeing here will play out into tomorrow and even maybe throughout the night. I was warning and saying that we are inches away from the end of this rally, which is unfortunately prolonged by about $400, 450-ish. Depending on how you see it, we still said 5,500 as well, maybe very much a real area we ended up retesting, of course. But and some of you will not take this seriously. It's like, Greg, you were saying this for a couple of weeks now. I will also remind you that about 3 months ago, this entire thing that is now happening, I predicted all of it, including how we will drop down, correct back up, and maybe even to relative and very unpleasant highs. Although I didn't give it a lot of credence and said it will end up breaking, like I said, around the 54, 55, maybe spilling over to 56 at worst, but not getting as high as we have. What ended up happening is that we ended up spilling over into the edge of the channel, something that I actually warned about happening. You can watch the videos from a couple of months ago and see that is all true, including the Tesla levels, Palantir levels, literally all of it. But I was also saying that I don't think it will happen based upon how low, how quick, and how bad the momentum is. Now that we're looking at the 1 hourly chart, that is far more indicative of what is really going on for us right now. We are now what was, if you are attentive, what you realize that this very line at 5,894, call it that, as you can identify, it played a very significant role as the bottom, the floor, the support for quite a while here. It was retested also before we've penetrated it, so we quite well acknowledge it, right? In fact, there's a couple of levels roughly within that same vicinity. And what's happening right now is that we're hitting post very severe drop. This is so abnormal. Still, on an overall downtrend, we hit the ceiling. This junction of the channels and this junction of just this very strong support resistance level, which in this case right now, of course, it was support. Right now, it is playing as resistance. And the momentum that is starting to formulate when we hit our head on that resistance, surprise, surprise, we are starting to get rejected downwards. Of course, it's premature to say based upon the 1 hour time frame, that's all, but we are starting to see signs of getting rejected by this very resistance. In fact, I would hope that tomorrow we still open up within the confines and the framework of this area, so we can then start correcting from a downwards, closing the remnant gaps that we have below us, moving to the bottom of the channel, maybe this time around actually penetrating, going even lower to around 47.66, and we actually have even further lower levels, right? Now, more so, something that I warned about, and I kind of did say, sadly, a little bit too late, because again, we didn't forecast this wave to be so strong and so long. But what we have had here is this sort of head and shoulders formation, and I warned about a week ago how we're going to have and complete the second shoulder. In fact, if we zoom in on this thing, we can already start to see how it's curving backwards. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be as short or as immediate or as quick as this is, but if we're zooming in, we are already starting to see that this is very short range corrective movement, if you will, because again, it's sort of a final impulse, and I'm predicting this to be the final impulse. You can say, Greg, but you were wrong before. Yes, I'm human. I get things, only with 98% accuracy. If you don't like 98% accurate analysts, go to another channel. Good luck with that. Now, what we are saying is that in my mind, in my experience and knowledge, this thing is about to turn around, and we're already starting to see signs of it not being all too strong. Once it does, it's of course transition through the 80. We will see whether we're going to have some form of shrinkage here between the channels or retest as well. Maybe not completely out of the realm of possibility, but what is, or at least based upon the structure and the current expectation and this behavior, is that we're going to start breaking out of oversold territory into the body, and the further we're going to go into the body closer to 50, this entire channel or current sort of structure will maintain and will break us further into the channel, right? So we're basically going to retain ourselves within the framework of the channel, starting to make our way downwards, sort of transitioning over and spilling over to the other side of things. My members and students already know, and I show them exactly how these sort of things play out, how they work out, how the channels eventually spill over. Something, for example, that end up getting not exactly perfectly is how quickly this channel, of course, will transition. And we were saying that there's a very high likelihood of it staying sort of within the confines of this very same sort of structure. And as you can see, we're already at the very edge, and we're about to transition very, very shortly, right? Some of us, of course, looked at this to be a guideline to a even lower impulse. Sadly, we saw we're crossing the 50. It appears to be that we're retaining sort of this overall channel, which in reality, if we look at larger time frames, we realize it's merely a small partition. Basically, this whole thing, almost to oversimplify this, is just this transitional period, which we haven't even over the monthly actually accessed oversold territory. For you not to get confused with all these drawings, no, there is no convergence yet. And in fact, this process normally takes, just to highlight how long these processes can take. For example, in this instance, that's 426 days, as you can see on the bottom. Since a trading year is not exactly a full year, it's more of a 220 something days if my math is not off. And so basically this equals to roughly 2 years. And this is a very tame cycle. I'm not going to compare this to what is coming, in fact, and I hope some of you are not misled by the sort of nature of what we had during that period, because it was, in comparison, significantly far more tame than what reality will be for us. That is that. Those who understand, there are, of course, by the way, let me remind you, boys and girls, that I have now 2 spots in my one-on-one academy where I tutor you one-on-one in a private session and sort of teach you how to use the advanced tools, understand the cycles, understand the forces in the market, and why it is that we're doing what we're doing, and why we're expecting to see these cycles to come play out and come through, and what are the sort of grander things that the average market participant is not aware of, tools that the average participant does not know how to use, and that's why we are able to actually, again, have these readings and identify these turning points, and we'll actually analyze the market and predict certain moves to a certain extent in advance. We don't do that anymore here. BlackBerry stock analysis is done only for the community on the Discord. Now there are, that's okay. There are, that's okay, Stonks. No issue. BlackBerry, from now on, we do the stock analysis, the individual stock analysis, only on the Discord for the community members. If you want to get that, of course, I know you are, but to those who are not, join the community. In fact, right now the prices are highly discounted. The advanced tier is now 60% discounted. In 2 weeks from now, it's going to be hiked up to $100. So right now, the $40 tier on the Patreon. Again, reminding those who don't know, the Patreon address is patreon.com/investory. Now we're going to start correcting very, very shortly, and the price will be then hiked up to $100, everybody will say, no, Greg, but it was 40 just a week ago, this and that. Well, don't miss out. That's the only thing I can tell you. Another very, very, very important thing. Actually, I think that might have been even more important than the other thing, and I should have mentioned that earlier. A quick announcement about the One-on-One Academy. Really, really important announcement. The SPX right now, to the average observer, is not going to hit 5,000 anytime soon. But then again, you guys and girls know I've been able to predict these very unpredictable things very well in advance and very accurately. And so, just to put it in simple terms, there is now a race to the bottom, if you will. And the idea here is very simple. When the SPX, the S&P 500, hits 5,000 again, okay, I'm not talking about 2027 or whatever. I'm talking about this current year, which is going to, in my assessment, happen relatively soon, that we will hit 5,000 again. The second the market hits 5,000, the Academy's price, the One-on-One Academy, goes through 3,500. Basically, it will increase $500. Okay? Now, once we hit $4,000 on the SPX, the Academy price will go to $4,000. So within the near future, some would say, Greg, it's never going to happen. Well, in that case, boo-hoo me, right? My problem. But I don't want to hear from anyone, Greg, it was, and this and that. If you want to get this price, if you want to get the low price of 3,000 right now before it hits 3,500 or even 4,000, I highly recommend you take the spots. There are only 2 spots available right now. And yeah, the price right now is 3,000. If you'll miss out, you'll miss out. Don't come crying to me that it was. It was correct. When in the future we will drop, it will be. Now, what is important to note is the testimonials channel of the Academy members that already gone through the Academy and can share their experience and so what sort of skill set and what this gave them. Again, I highly recommend you talk to these members as well. They're all part of the community still. You can talk to them and ask them, and you can just read through the testimonials and see how efficient the Academy was for them. Okay? Highly recommended. You'll know that way to whether it is for you or not, right? Whether to determine it's a skill set that you're looking to have or not. That is about that. Let's look at the S&P on what it's doing right now in the time being. After close, not much, and I hope that will stay exactly as is. In fact, I hope to see the market open up right above wherever we just dropped to, so we can start and initiate the movement downward. Some of you are very skeptical, saying, Greg, we went so high, this is insane, it's not gonna happen, that's it, from here on out, face melting rally, like Tom Lee said. Well, I'm saying otherwise. I'm still saying the market is definitely very, very propped up to start correcting, and especially on the continuous channel, if you really, really analyze and sort of look at things, you're going to identify these various hints, if you will, and you'll be able to identify exactly what it is that we're seeing or expecting to see in the market in the very near-term future, right? The momentum is still sort of identical in that sort of same idea and represents something very, very similar when it comes to the continuous or the regular contract, and below and behold, in fact, something I want to highlight, remember how we just said our daily is already starting to curve on that head and shoulders form. Right here, in fact, you can see it's a little bit more of an aggressive convergence that's already starting to happen, and so sometimes you can actually use the continuous contract as a predictive tool to what is to come. Sadly, on the weekly, it doesn't give us any hints. On the monthly, it looks roughly about identical. 3 months, of course, roughly about identical. Of course, it still retains the divergence it had originally. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, not a lot changed. The only bummer is that instead of me being able to recognize that there is an impulse here that some of us more trading inclined people could have been able to capitalize on, a very significant wave that is. And that's very unfortunate. But again, I prefer to take the more certain waves and not risk losing or missing out on far more better gains over time. Yes, it's maybe a little bit unpleasant. Yeah, it is what it is. But definitely didn't want to risk being pushed out or stay sort of being left behind as the market starts dropping far more rapidly. And the sad reality is that we were given profits, taken these profits away, and now we will have to take these profits back from the market in the very short-term future. And so we will feel as if we could have had even more profits. Some of us, of course, were able to capitalize on this movement. Some of us were not. I'm not going to lie, I myself did not capitalize on this. I prefer to stay in case the market will continue going downwards, because the certainty of this movement up was not all that high. Irregardless, to inform you, although we had so much action recently, some of it, of course, is more crucial, more important. Some of it is less. At the end of the day, as I said, and as I warned you about, we're about to have this head and shoulder, sort of shoulder formation. I'm about to tell you that we're about to turn around and continue breaking down, and the next breakdown will be even worse than the first one. Most of the public is not prepared for it. In their mind, that's it, to the moon. But the reality is very different. That is all, boys and girls. Join the community, join the academy, ask around about the academy. To ask about the academy, you go to the Discord. It doesn't matter whether you're a member or not. You have here in the Need Help channel academy application, or in the support channel. Again, because the people who are still stuck in limbo and are outside, you can see some of whom are still outside. You guys need, if you are interested in the academy application, or if for some reason it doesn't work for you, if it has some issues, just press the support ticket. It's the very same thing. We'll have a one-on-one call. I'll help you sign up. I'll explain how you pay, how you join, how you do everything. You'll be guided through the whole process. If you already are in the Discord and already a member, you go to the support channel. Very same shtick. Academy application for some reason doesn't work for you. Support ticket, and I will tend to you. That's it, boys and girls. Definitely don't miss out before the prices go higher. And I promise to you again, I'm so sorry, but there will be no, if you joined up, you joined up. If you didn't, if you missed it, you missed it. Okay? That is it, boys and girls. I will see you on the next one. I'll see you in the community. Of course, I think the following sessions will be jam-packed with action. And so definitely take the opportunity before the market goes completely bananas to enjoy the calm and peace that you have. Some of us are complaining and are very unhappy with this, but I will say that it's going to be short-lived, and soon we're going to go into a continuation of a very significant downtrend. So be prepared for that. Before we end this call, I would tremendously appreciate if you guys all smash the like, subscribe, make sure your notification setting is set to all, so you're not going to miss out when I do go live. And definitely, like I said, hopefully I'll see you in the Discord community. Join us. We hang out in the Discord pretty much every single day. The Discord members get meetings, extra exclusive meetings that the public do not get. They get exclusive members content that is ad-free, and all sorts of awesome, really nice perks. That's it, boys and girls. Oh yeah, if I didn't say so, the Academy membership comes with a lifetime membership to the Discord. Very, very important to note. If you become an Academy member, you will then become a lifetime member in the Discord community with all the perks and benefits. Very important to note. And well, other things as well. I mean, in case you're not sure, just last time, I promise. One last time. And these are just some of the things you'll get from the one-on-one Academy. Okay, to sign up, like I said, go to the support channel, open a support ticket or an Academy application, and I will tend to you. Remember, right? Academy application, support ticket. Much love, everyone. See you on the next one. See you in the community. Bye-bye.